another component to sustainability besides cover crops and no-till and
exactly
those things. You also have to be able to sell it at a profit. Otherwise, you can't sustain selling it below market cost of production very long. Well, why don't we take a tour? We'll go down and see where we're digging the roots, and then follow it over to the field where we're planting then. And so we plowed them last fall so that they would overwinter, and plus makes it a little bit easier digging. And so that wagon's almost full, and then the other wagon's coming in behind. So, but you can see how the mint is starting to grow out already.
Yeah.
So we'll walk out there and. So these are some of the roots that shake out. They go between the digger.
Okay.
And so we're going to plant this field back in. So we'll work it and work those back in. But like that one, that's just dead material there. But that's what we're trying to get them is before they grow out. Otherwise, they go into transplant shock and it'll kill them.
So when did you plow this field? Last fall?
Last fall. Helps with overwintering and then as well as disease. And then as we're digging, we can dig it a little bit wider than what, take a few more, load roots a little bit faster than what just the width of the digger because they're hilled up. So through, it's kind of like a potato digger or
it allows dirt to fall through as it comes up the conveyor.
The chain webbing on it has gaps between the rods, and so dirt can sift through. So that's why you want it dry enough that the dirt will shake through, so we're not transplanting, hauling dirt that's heavy, and we don't need to be doing that. So so that's why you ask what kind of conditions. Well, we need it dry enough that we can pull the wagons through. We're not getting stuck. The digger can go through, and the dirt can sift out.
Too wet would keep the
too wet. It just wants to carry dirt.
Roots,
Dirt just sticks, and then it just carries dirt up, and then it wants to slip the clutch on the digger and break spindles on the planter. And if it's too dry, then a lot of it'll shake. A lot of it'll shake out then
before it even makes up the conveyor.
Right. So there's a nice. We can come over a little closer.
Yeah, I want to see what it looks like after he makes his pass. So he's controlling the depth.
Yeah, he can control the depth, so he doesn't. See, when it gets wet, it doesn't want to slide. It builds up, so you have to adjust it a little bit. Sometimes you kind of have to keep working that. That just goes underneath and lifts them up. And then
look at that,
slab of roots. But see, they're starting to grow.
Yeah.
Starting to grow out, and then you can see how it breaks some of them off. So we would just transplant those then.
I can see it taking a little bit to get through 50 acres, or
yeah, it takes a while. We'll work this back down, and then we'll plant back in. There's not enough roots here for a stand, so we'll plant these back in then.
So what are you going to run over this ground to prep it for?
We're going to use a soil finisher, so we'll run the quad track that we have down here with the finisher.
Pull that through and get it all leveled back out.
Yeah, that's a nice job. The discs in the front to kind of help move the sweeps, and then I got a basket on the tines and basket to leave it nice and level. We'll probably have to hit it twice to get these ridges out.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, it's usually a couple times, but once we get that field planted, we'll know about how many roots we need here, get them dug, and then we can get it worked down then.
Very good. I imagine that's he's probably on those remotes all day, adjusting that height.
Yeah, especially it's because you can see how this ground still got some moisture and it's still a little
As
damp.
the tractor sinks, and
So it wants to doesn't want to go up the conveyor, so you got to move it just a little bit to get it going. That end of the field's a little drier, so we don't need any more rain up here on this field. So
yeah,
hope that rain holds off till tomorrow night and then we can get done. But
yeah.
Because there was frost this morning, so the ground was froze, so we couldn't start first thing this morning. We had to wait for the sun come up, thaw it out, and then we get started. So
Yeah.
otherwise the top is froze, and then those chunks don't break up, and they just go up, load those in the wagon as well. So if it's too thick, it didn't get quite as cold as they were saying, but once you get down in the 20s, then the ground starts freezing and not just frost on top. So then you can break the digger.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't need any of those problems. So yeah, they'll fill up, and then they'll fill. Go if you stay more towards the center, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need. Then they'll roll down, fill the other side then.
Could be a bit challenging as they're tracking in the different ruts and everything else. Trying to stay centered as the best I can.
Yeah, because you don't want them off to one side, or you go to dump, and then it can twist the frame. And
that never happens, does it?
Well, if we're transplanting to a different farm, then we'll load them like on a semi.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we've laid our dump bed semi over.
Because it's two side loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it does happen easier than probably most people think. Once you get all that weight up in the air like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we meet him at the end, and then we'll follow him over to the field then. It's
yeah, it spreads through all that too.
They got their own issues, so.
I've never seen that up close, so that's.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah. Now you're part of the Matt Smoker was mentioning to me about. Do you head up, or are you on the board for the Mint Growers Association?
Yeah, Indiana Mint Growers. So I was president here the last 4 years.
So how many mint growers are there now compared to where there was?
Oh, I think in Indiana there's 8 growers, and like 20 years ago, back in the 90s, there was at one time I think there was close to 80 growers.
Wow, so 1/10.
But then the acreage is down, and so consequently the number of growers is decreased as well.
Mm-hmm.
For our boiler, we got a permit and have an energy assessment and have it inspected and keep it up to date, and so
obviously burning fuel to keep it going and everything, rather than just polluting the environment and everything else.
Right. We got different standards, so consequently they got a cheaper cost of production that way. Yeah, that's one of the things we've upgraded our distills over the last couple of years and added solar panels so that any of the energy electricity that we consume is offset with energy produced by the solar panels. So that way lowers our cost of production that way.
Sure.
Once we get the panels paid for, then the electricity is.
These fields here, obviously, without being tilled, you obviously got them on rotation.
Right. Yeah, like this field hasn't had mint for over 20 years.
So
we try to keep it a rotation that way for disease. And then, so yeah, this one will be in mint for 4 years, and then we'll take it out.
Okay.
And then it'll go to corn, and then be in the corn bean rotation. It's probably a good spot to see, to watch them come up.
So they come through, they dump it there, he picks it up.
Yep, with the loader, and then puts it in the planter.
Is there a conveyor belt in there that just feeds it forward?
Yep, there's a steel conveyor belt, chain webbing on the floor that pulls it to the front. Kind of the opposite of a manure spreader that would pull it to the back. With the beater in the front that helps, you saw that one out in the field, one slab of road, so it'll help chop it up so that it can slide down into the furrow and get covered up.
As far as prepping a new field for mint, I mean, that was obviously corn last year.
Right, it was corn last year, so we ran a VT tool through it 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then we ran the finisher through it yesterday morning. Well, actually, started yesterday afternoon because it was still a little on the damp side in the morning. And it aired it out. Now it's a nice shape. But if it had been beans, we could have we have no-tilled into the bean stubble. But corn stalks, there's too much crop residue left to do that.
So you got break it up. Yeah. But you have no-tilled right into a bean field,
bean stubble,
and get results.
Yeah. Nice size and good visibility.
Now, what do you use to actually harvest the mint then?
So we'll run a forage harvester. So it'll be a New Holland chopper with a hay pickup head on it.
Okay.
And that'll chop it and blow it into the
wagons,
into the mint tubs then.
So he's just up there making sure everything gets fed in, right?
He's just kind of leveling them off so that there's no, like we got, big pile there, and there's not gaps, and that we get more of an even feed.
Oh yeah, that's a good view of the. How it gets brought in there and distributed down, broken all up.
Yeah, they get smaller pieces. Then that's what that beater in the front kind of helps chop it up. So they get smaller pieces and a more even feed then.
So he can make it all the way down and back, and then get loaded again.
Right. So I think that's what's nice. If it does rain or it's too muddy out in the field, that's what we'll do next week. Then is clean this equipment up, put it away, and get hooked up to the corn and bean planter. And I think Josh has to come back out so we can transfer our AV lines, and then those will be ready to go. Oh, so, pull back out here when meet somebody. We our meeting last week recognized a couple of guys. One guy you talked to last week, or last time you were here, was Bruce. Had been with us for 40 consecutive years, and Jerry I quit counting after I remembered the story that he told me that he was actually born on the farm.
Oh my God.
So in one of the houses there by the shop, and so he just comes out and helps us part time, and so it'd be good to meet him.
Jared. Nice to meet you. Yeah, pretty close.
This is Lindsay. So
Nice to meet you.
I was telling him the story that you told me that you were actually born on the farm. So I said, you got to come meet. He still comes out and helps us part time, and so it's nice to have somebody that's
can't get away from the place.
Loyal and
I figured it up the other day.
Did you?
After you said I never figured how many. The time I was gone and come back, about 50 years.
50 years.
50 years. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
I was 8 years old when I started. And I was still working here when I graduated high school.
Yeah. Yeah, as you told me, when you graduated, you were side dressing 28 on corn.
Yep.
Wow. Impressive.
Almost missed my graduation.
And more important things going on, right? Yeah.
But it worked back then.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
definitely.
didn't care whether I got at that. With that class.
Yeah.
It made no difference.
Yeah, well, we appreciate all the over the years. So it's nice to come back and you know the routine and know the fields and what needs to get done, and then you help us when we need it.
Right, and you still know I'm right here.
Right.
Whenever.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So it works out good. Up in the hotel, and one of those.
My dad.
Because your dad was running that hay loader.
Yep.
When they had they call it.
I got one someplace where you plow, but I can't find it.
Yeah. When they were instead of picking it loose by hand, they had this. What do they call it? California loader.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it.
It was a loader that pick it up on conveyor belt instead of chopping it. It was just a conveyor belt that ran it into the round tubs that were on the wagon.
That one thing you got outside, like the elevator, brother run that.
Oh yeah, the hay loader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Sitting out in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brother ran that one. So,
wow.
So yeah, he's seen it going from planting by hand and harvesting by hand to machines. That can do some of that work. So.
Oh yeah, I helped them when they were planting by hand. I was running hauling the plumbers out. Not the plumbers, but the mint rod to them.
And then they'd use the army trucks then to haul the mint hay away from the distill.
Yeah. Brother done that.
Drove the army trucks.
Yeah.
They got World War II army trucks. They had all-wheel drive, and they put dump beds on them, and then they could haul that away from the distill.
Huh.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
amazing how much changed, huh?
Yeah. So he's seen a lot of changes over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Not many people can say they've seen all that either. You know.
Yeah.
And many can say they work along there, do you?
So it doesn't lay them very deep. It obviously just opens up a little furrow and kind of lays them right in, and then has the small closing wheels on the back. So when Wrigley's was in Chicago, their main production, is that when you'd say the whole Northwest Indiana mint production was at its peak?
Yeah, because they were. I mean, that Colgate, Wrigley's was a big buyer of Midwest mint oil. Same way with Colgate, still are. So.
I guess I'm curious. Where do you haul it when
after we harvest it, then there's buyers about 6 or 7 buyers in the U.S. that buy it from the producer, and then they'll blend it and then sell it to the end user, whether it be Wrigley or Colgate, because if they want larger batches of, and they can blend those different producers together to get this analysis that they want for their flavoring.
And they come to you.
A Midwest oil is different than a Far West oil.
Is it really?
There's different, a little different fragrance, a little different composition, and then they get it to what the specs that Colgates and Wrigley's want. But like in the Midwest, if there's a lot of muck soils, those give it a different flavor. More precipitation here in the Midwest as far as Far West. So they're after different growing areas have just those different aspects of them give it a little different characteristics.
So when that oil's, when you're done with it, those buyers come to you and they haul it out from here?
Yes, we have one. We work with one of them is IP Callus, and they have a buying station here in North Judson, and so we'll either deliver it to them or they'll come here to the farm and pick it up.
So mint's been a part of your farm since early on, and you guys have always grown it year after year, or was there ever a time where you...
I don't know, as far as I know, I think once we got started, I think we've been continuously raising mint. It could be over 100 years that we've been raising mint.
Oh.
And like I said, it was done when it was done by hand.
Yeah.
Back then, planted it by hand, harvested it by hand. I just want to stop here. We gotta wait for him to go anyway, so we'll check this field. Check. So, I got to check for winter annuals because we're gonna no-till beans into this field, and so we want it clean. So we'd worked this end last fall because there was some compaction here, but we're going to no-till the rest of it. Want to get them when they're small, but get underneath some of that residue, and they're starting. So dandelion, chickweed, purple dead nettle. But they got to be actively growing. This morning it was below freezing, and the last 2 days, nights have been below freezing. So
it has been.
You want them warm enough, so they're actively growing, so they'll take up and die. Otherwise, you're just building up tolerance to it. This weekend's gonna be perfect because it's gonna be like in the 60s.
Yeah.
Except it's gonna be raining.
So, but the temperature's there for them to be actively growing. They're gonna be soaking up all that water.
Right, but then Monday is back a high of 30 again. So, but that's the problem when it does break and warm up. It's gonna be, spraying, burn down, putting on nitrogen.
Yeah, it'll be go time.
And then this is a cover crop that we planted. So we got a test strip here. Well, this field, we're testing strip till. And so we put on our P&K last fall in these strips. And so we got our cover crop on this field, planted early, and then we came in and put our fertilizer on in these strips, so that we're putting the fertilizer right in the band and testing it to see if we can reduce our rate of fertilizer and still do minimum till. And by doing the strips after we do the cover crop, we can still see the strips, and it takes out the cover crop, so maybe we can get the cover crop get a little bit bigger. before we have to terminate it.
Just to keep everything else from
germinating. So we got a test plot on the other side with backing off the rate of the fertilizer 30%, and then comparing strip till versus regular no-till. So we'll have come fall. So this will be corn this year, so it'll be a nice test plot for come fall.
Yeah.
So this is our distill. Hopefully it'll come back when we're actually harvesting. It'll be a little easier to see and So we got the boilers to produce steam.
Yeah.
And then use the steam lines to put steam into the tub, and it'll kind of vaporize the oil out. Remove it from the oil gland, and remove it from the plant. And then there's this, then the oil and water vapor will go up to the top of the tub, and we'll collect it through those black pipes on the top. And then we'll take it over to the.
This is where it separates?
Those are the condensers. Come in the condenser first, and there's cold water that circulates on the inside, and then the vapor goes down the tubes inside, and then it'll condense back to a liquid. So you have oil and water liquid, and that goes into the separator then, where oil and water separate out, and then we drain off the oil. So, but yeah, I can say if we come back when we're harvesting, and it'll be, see it a little more in production. But
when you get running, once you start, you're in it till you're finished, or do you shut everything down for a period of time? Or?
Well, we'll shut down in the evening.
Oh, you do?
Okay. And then there's kind of depend on Mother Nature too, because you want the hay dry, so that it chops and the oil separates, but you don't want it too dry because you can lose the leaves in the handling. So there's a fine line there between wet and too dry. But yeah, once we start, we'll go in. As long as the fields are ready, we'll keep harvesting then.
Okay.
That's one of our solar arrays that offsets the electricity that we use basically on this farm, because we got the distilled 2 center pivots that we tied into it.
Now you mentioned there's roughly like 8 growers left in the state. Are they primarily located up north, or how far south is?
No, it doesn't. I think Fair Oaks is about the farthest south. Then you got North Judson area, and then South Bend area.
Okay.
It's pretty much the northwest part of the state. Hopefully get nice timely rains and the weather cooperates. Don't have, last year we had a couple of hurricanes that came up and got dumped on a lot of rain. So hopefully we missed some of those this year and have a good harvest, and so that we already got price on the mint is already set, contracted, but like we were talking earlier on corn and beans, that hopefully either some get a little better price come fall, or it'll help on the inputs. So. Well, for the growing, it needs a fair amount of water to grow and fertilizer, but it also needs this, a lot of sun and dry weather for harvest. So, because we got to let it cure in the field for 1 to 2 days so it can dry, so that makes it easier for harvest at the distill for the oil extraction. And we don't want the hay to get rained on, because it can knock some of the oil glands off of the leaf. So,
and you don't want it too dry either, obviously. So there's a small window there to
small window to get it harvested. So we want get some rains up during the growing season, but then need some sun and some heat when at harvest time, so that harvest can go smooth. A couple weeks ago, we were putting on fertilizer on the mint, so we're fertilizing it now. We'll have to do some weed control here as it warms up. Typically in May, some of the broadleaf and grasses start to germinate in the field. We get enough heat units for them. Then first part of end of May, 1st of June, we're looking for any insects. If we get too dry, you can get spider mites in the mint. There's a dry period, so we got to scout for that. And sometimes we get loopers, and they'll chew on the leaves, and so and then bud mites. They'll affect the. They'll get in the bud of as it starts to form, and you can decrease our yield. So we're scouting for those, and so that we have a nice product to sell come harvest time. There is crop insurance for mint. There's a lot of winter coverage because it is out in the year round. Because sometimes if you have an open winter where it's cold, we've had sometimes where it's gets 20 or 30 below zero. There aren't too many times, but we have had fields freeze out. That's one of the reasons they plowed it, so they have that soil, that layer of soil for insulation to keep it front, so you can't overwinter. But there is winter coverage, and there are a few things there for mint.
Interesting. Yeah.
But there hasn't always been. It's more the last few years.